everybody. We're back today with another episode of Howie's Hometown Heroes, where we feature business owners, entrepreneurs, and community members who are doing extraordinary, amazing things right there in their own community. Today, we're taking it on the road. We are in Mexico City without a passport. What a concept, right? I'm here with my good friend Diego Ibarra. He is the Vice President of Public Relations for Acir Group, a group of 50 radio stations throughout Mexico. That sounds pretty cool to me. They play all kinds of different genres of music, talk, sports, lots and lots of stuff going on there. So really very cool to talk to him about that. But some of the things about him, it's a family business. Started in 1965 by his father and his brothers, got the thing going, and now he's part of that whole family. And he's now the face of the business, speaks to radio associations, other business groups, and talks about radio in Mexico, radio in general, about his station and how they're unique. Definitely a great guy, very friendly. You no matter where you see him, always got a smile, always ready to help, and always got a big handshake and hug. It's awesome the way he does that. Married 10 years, got two beautiful daughters. We're 6 and 8. We'd like to meet them someday. I should come to Mexico again. That's what I want to do. So it'd be fun. Anyway.
And I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Yeah. So tell us a little fun fact about you. What's something crazy that you do, or we would know?
Well, as a fun fact, just to break the ice, I would have to say I love board sports. Since I was a kid, I skateboard, I surf, and I snowboard, and I love it.
Snowboard. Wait. Is snow in Mexico? I didn't even know this.
No, I have to go up to the States. I just got back yesterday. I just got back yesterday from Colorado. I was snowboarding up there.
Wow, that's sort of a pretty different, right? How is it going from below zero to 70, 80 degrees in a day?
Interesting, I would have to say. A few layers in difference, right?
Layers of difference. That's right. Very cool. So that sounds fun. So anyway, we're gonna have a little bit of fun here. So tell us about your journey. Now you tell us about your dad and your brothers who started the radio station, but you weren't quite there yet. So tell us about that story, how that came about.
Yeah. So my father, back in 1965, he started. He was a CPA, and he started working in a radio group, right? And he started working his way up that radio group, and he was the CEO of that group.
Oh.
Then he said, I need to go out and form my own radio station group, right? And then he resigned that job, and he pursued his dream, and he started buying one little one in this little town in Veracruz. And then from there, he worked his way up, and now he left a huge radio legacy, which I'm so grateful for.
Wow, very nice. So there's a hardworking guy for sure. I mean,
he was.
And knows business, knows how to put pieces together. And right. Is there some particular skill do you think he had, or a vision, or how did he get that courage or the vision to be able to do that kind of thing, do you think?
You know, maybe it sounds a little cliche, but he was always trying to do the right thing. He always told us that doing the right thing is never the easiest, but it's the right thing to do. So he was always positive. He was always generating value. He was always being transparent with people. In his deals, he never took more than what he gave, right? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there's a lot of people that tell him that he left a lot of dollars in the table, right? But that's just the way he started, and he just worked his way up with that mentality and that positivity, and I think it pays off. It really pays off, right?
And not just it paid off for him, right? But the whole family. So
now the whole family, yeah.
How many other of your brothers are involved?
Well, I'm the youngest my father got married twice. So I'm the youngest of 5. 3 have brothers, and then my sister and I.
Okay.
So there's like a 22-year gap in between us.
Oh.
So they've been working in the company for 20 years now.
Yeah, yeah,
One
yeah.
of them is the CEO, the other one is the CFO. So everything works great, right? And that's why, as I was telling you before, when I try to jump into the family business, because I love the family business, I love being a businessman, they told me, you're not ready, go out there, get prepared, and when you feel that like you're prepared, you come back, you talk to us, and then we'll see from there. And that for me was a 8-year journey. I went out, I tried to start my own business. I opened up a restaurant, which failed, but there were great lessons involved in that, of course. And then trying to do some real estate brokerage, and that one worked out great. But then I figured that I was losing my time in somehow, because you have to ask the question, where is it that I'm generating the most value for me, and value for my family, and fulfillment for me, right?
Sure.
And then the answer was in the family business. So on July last year, I talked to my father and my brothers, and I say, I'm ready. And they asked me what I was doing all these years, and I told them, and then I jumped in, and I'm the VP of public relations for the group,
Nice.
which I'm very, very proud of. Yes.
Yeah, really. That is quite an accomplishment. And I gotta give a lot of credit to your dad and your brothers to see that. Not that they diminish your value, but they understood what it takes to be part of that family business, and they wanted to make sure you were there, right? Otherwise, I can imagine if you came too soon, it wouldn't help them or you, right? And that's no
Yeah,
good either.
of course. Yeah, but I really gotta tell you, at the beginning, it was not so easy for me to accept that, right? It was like, because you're young and you have all this energy and you really want to, but they were right. I was not ready. Right. Yeah, but it's not easy to accept that, right?
And say, okay. Interesting. Yeah. You think you're on the path that you want, but they're saying not so much.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, interesting. And tell me, I know we had talked a couple of weeks ago about your family meetings. How did they tell us about how they run? I thought that was kind of a fun story.
Well, it's funny because the dynamics in a family business are totally different from a regular business, because family isn't intertwined to the bone of the company, right? So it's very, very interesting how you need to manage some subjects in order to be business oriented and just separate the family subjects from that. And it's funny because whenever we're having family lunch on Sunday or whatever, it was like a golden rule: no business talk, right? Because it was so easy to jump from one to the other. So it's funny because then the family depends on the business, but then the family is not the business. So that's an idea you have to work your head around. So
and
that's fun.
And have to enforce that, because I can imagine it's very easy to just say, oh, by the way, we got this thing going,
Yeah, of course. And then you're a brother, but you're a CEO, but you're so you have to really,
and who's doing what? Yeah. Who's the boss of who, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that's something that you really have to pay attention to in order to keep the dynamics healthy and the family healthy and the business healthy.
Has that created some tensions along the way, or does everybody kind of follow in line?
Tensions are always there in a family, I guess, but in a family business, a little more so. but you work around those, right? You work around those, and everything's
you've created. He and your brothers, they created that culture between them, so since I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but if they created that culture, however intentional or it worked out, anybody else from the outside has got to buy into that culture. And
yeah, of course.
To keep it going.
The business identity is the business identity, right? It's a lot similar, very, very similar to our family's identity, because the family values are the ones that go into the family business.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So whenever we recruit and whenever we set our policies and everything, we are always talking about our business identity, which is exactly the same or mostly the same as our family values,
What kind of, not so much when you were out learning stuff, not part of the business yet, what kind of skills do you think you developed intentionally or by accident that helped you in that 8 years to come back and say, okay, now I'm ready. And they said, okay, come on board.
One that I developed because I like very much is public speaking. That one I like because I really like to engage with people, and just the self-control that you need to have in order to go up into a stage and deliver a message and be clear and be empathic. And, just, I love that feeling and the rush that you get just before you get I love that. And then when you successfully deliver the message and you get the response that you want, that feeling is just amazing. So I would say that. And mostly, and more importantly, just how to piece up together a business model so we can work, right? So we can be a successful business model. So, but that took me like 8 years because I found out in this one and then in this one and then in this one, and then you start like getting all the different components from different businesses. And then, so I think that's a big one that took me many years to learn, but that's the most valuable, I would have to say.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's an excellent way to talk about it. And you're right, some people just don't get it. And you respected your father and brothers enough, and maybe you weren't. They didn't give you that answer you wanted to hear, but you respected them enough to at least go on and do something on your own, and then come back later. So
yeah, of course. But then again, I went and tried to open my restaurant and it didn't go through. It failed. So that's where I said, then maybe I'm not ready, right?
maybe I'm not ready. There you go. So okay. So you've been in for a few months or so, not a super long time, but you have an understanding of the radio station and how it all some of the moving parts. What have you learned since now being back there, and what have some success stories or some accomplishments speaking in front of groups? What have you done since you've been back, since you've been started?
Yeah, it's great because then you go back and the same things that you saw this way 10 years ago, 8 years ago, you start seeing them totally different. The optic and the point of view. I mean, the things are the same, the issues are the same. Maybe some of the people and the teammates are the same, but you start looking at things totally different with a new optic. And that for me was great. I started visiting our top 50 clients just to get to know them, just to get them to know me, and just to sort of map out how our client base is. So that was a lot of fun for me because I love sales and I love, just being around people. So that's what I did for the last half year, just going throughout our most important clients. And I got some speaking engagements on the Mexico City radio chamber. That was great. There was this entrepreneur group from a local university that invited me to talk to young entrepreneurs.
Ooh, there you go.
So it was like a 500 people event.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. And that was great experience for me. So, you just have to learn to enjoy and love the ride and the process and the journey. Because if you just worry about the goal, when you get to the goal, then you would be disappointed that you got there fast or slow or whatever, right? But the learnings and the experiences that you get in the journey, those are where the value is.
Right. And especially if your goal was money, right? And that may or may not come as fast or as slow as you expect it to. And then what do you do? Right?
Yeah, of course. Yes, exactly. But it all builds up to that point, right?
Right. So if you're kind of moving through, I think I should be doing this now and this next and this next and this next to reach whatever particular goal there is. But if you're looking to make money this week or next week or whatever it is, that may not be there. It may not be there for a while, and somehow you got to persevere through that, knowing that the end goal is really what you're looking for in the first place. That's good.
But I would have to add something for your audience on that point. It's when you know, right? Because for the past 8 years, I was trying to find myself, right? I was trying to find my skills and my strengths, and for 10 years now, this is the point or the part of my life where I have felt the most confident and the most like I know I'm in the right place now. My mindset is in the right place now, right? So when you know that you landed or that you're in the right place, right time, you just feel it.
Yep.
And you move forward with certainty. And even though the money is not there, like whenever you want it, you're working, you're in the right direction.
Right. And as long, like we said earlier, as long as you know you're in the right place and you're enjoying the journey, or at least accepting this is what I got to do, then it's almost not a job anymore, right? It just becomes the lifestyle.
Well, supposedly, if you do what you love, it doesn't feel like one, right?
That's right. Exactly. There you go. So where do you see yourself moving in the next 3, 5, 10 years? What's coming up next?
Well, for me, that would be just to generate value in the family business, just to prove leadership and to prove results and to turn speaking engagements into sales. That for me would be great. And back again to the journey, that for me is so fulfilling and so exciting that I know that I can do that forever and not get tired or burned in the process, right? So I know now that I'm doing exactly what I love. So I see myself really moving forward and really moving the company forward, marketing and sales wise. So that's where
awesome. Do you see any challenges to that? I mean, is there anything that you've identified so far, or that you think maybe?
I would have to say that it's more of an industry challenge. More of an industry challenge because, as you know, in Mexico we don't have satellite radio. We just have AM, FM, and now, of course, online radio, right?
Okay,
so a huge challenge for us, which we're ready and taking because we have the exclusivity for iHeart in Mexico.
iHeart Radio, that's a big deal here.
So that's a big deal. So that's our huge bet forward into moving online. So that's going to be a challenge, but we are taking the challenge head on. So we're ready.
Awesome. Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. So I'm looking forward to, even though I don't speak Spanish particularly well, I like to hear more about that story. And I'm going to know you for a long time. So we'll get to hear lots of stories moving forward. If you had in your, however long you've kind of been there, if you had 5 minutes to speak to the world about anything, what do you think you would share with them? Just some words of wisdom from what you've accomplished so far.
Like radio wise or personal wise?
Yes. all the above.
Well, I would have to say that you really have to learn to listen to yourself. Because you know when you are in the right place and you know when you are not in the right place. Mm-hmm. You just don't listen to yourself. Because now if I look backward to all the things that I did, in the bottom of my heart and in my awareness, I knew that those things were not the things that I wanted to do. Those were things that I thought I needed to do. And that distinction is, And then when you start doing the things that you really want to do, it just feels so natural and you feel so more powerful and you feel so more confident and you feel so, and then you start improving in some other areas of your life, because if you start making good decisions, then you start making good decisions in all of the other areas in your life, because you feel certain and you feel that you can achieve things. And when you feel that you can achieve things in one part, of course, that power. Yeah. So that's what I would have to say.
Right. Very good. That's a great way to look at it. I like the way you said, this is what I want to do, but it really wasn't what I needed to do. And that realization is a whole way to look at stuff. That's a great way.
That's huge. I mean, it's a small words, but it's huge in what it
huge
represents,
when it comes down to it. Exactly. So if only we could teach kids how to, to go through that, but you got to right to get through that. And one other thing I always like to ask at the end is, so of all the time you've been with the what do we call that years? The 8 years, which is like a time period. What are they? And now with the family business radio station stuff, how much of your success that you have so far, which is a lot for sure, how much do you think that was hard work and sticking to it and doing the right things and being in the right place at the right time, or just some luck?
No, I don't think I mean, I do believe in luck in a certain degree, but I think that you really get the results that you work for. I mean, but then again, if you're focusing your efforts in the wrong direction, you could be working 80-hour weeks or 100-hour weeks, and then you don't get the results. But then when you are moving in the right direction, that is right for you, that you feel is good for you, and you ultimately want to do, then you can be doing the same, or you can be doing 40-hour weeks or 60-hour weeks and getting way greater results.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very
so
good.
yeah.
I like that. Love that. So this is a great conversation. I'm looking forward to more conversations in the future. So for everybody out there, if you know somebody as awesome as Diego and we want to feature him on the show, just let me know. Call me, email me, put some comments in put a name in a comment or something, and we'll get them on the show too. So just remember, so if it's your family, your organization, or your family business, right? It's money that make those gears keep turning. Make sure your money is working the most optimal way it can. Thanks, Diego, for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the invite. I appreciate it.